Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on Planet Coaster with me, Spacefish, and with this beautiful look at what we achieved in the last episode with all the work on the Fairytale scenario. And well, as you all can see and as you all may still know, this thing is still by far not complete. I would like to put a whole lot more work into this thing this episode, and I think that will most certainly happen. I may also focus on doing a few businessy things, you know, like optimizing some ticket prices here and there, and getting some basic sceneries up here and there, you know. Also got a whole lot of people waiting down here to get some food from these things, and also, you know, slightly low on bins in that corner apparently because everybody's just buying food right there and throwing it right into the trash can. So I'm gonna have to stack up on some of these basic things, you know. Maybe gonna get some stores up right here for food because like this stuff is an actual really high demand, so I am feeling we may need a bit more for that stuff right there. Then on the other hand side, these are totally empty, which is very, very weird. So I'm gonna have to see about all these things most certainly, but I am mostly overall pretty sure that I will take care of that stuff within the time lapse. Other than that, we are still doing a good bunch of research on this coaster right here, which is gonna take another 81 days, so it's gonna be a while before then, and even then I'm not quite sure that's gonna be the coaster that we ultimately end up going with. Maybe we will have a different one that we will choose. We are at 10k actually though, so maybe we can just, you know, up this to 2,000 a month for the time being. Don't have to keep going with it if it's costing us too much, but maybe we can actually get this to 2k a month just to actually, you know, get this researched a bit faster. Then again, it does look like the estimated research cost is lower if we go for 1k? Oh, yeah, it just takes... Okay, so maybe we're going to keep it on 1k then, because I don't want to overspend. Like, I don't want to spend more than I need to. Like, we could, for that money, just get another coaster research, so maybe that's something to get going instead? I'm not quite sure. I really don't want to overdo it. We can pause research, though, can we? That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Should we maybe go for another one? I kind of feel like we should. The power of rubber. Pinnacle of Speed. Pinnacle of Speed sounds kind of intriguing, doesn't it? Reborn to Loop is pretty cool too. I want to go for the Pinnacle of Speed, I feel. Let's go for the Pinnacle of Speed, and if I ultimately discover that this does cost me too much, I'm not making enough money, I'm just going to pause the second development and just keep going with the first one. But I would actually like to get some coasters researched so that in the future we can actually get this planned coaster up and running right here that I really wanted to do, and maybe we can even make it a custom one, so that would be absolutely great. But for the time being, there is a lot of scenery to work on right here. There's a good bunch of scenery to work on right here. There's scenery to work on right here. There's houses to make right here. So I have got a super long list to work on, and well, I'll be starting on either of these in the time lapse, which I am going to be starting right now. So I'll see you guys once that is done.
free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take. Look behind your back. Chase a light when the world is getting darker. I have a dream where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of the shadows. Going harder, we are more than numbers. Standing in the shade. Going louder, we are all one color. Standing in the way. Join the army of the shadow. Join the army of the shadow. Join the army of the shadows. Shadows, shadows. Join the army of the shadows. Join the army of the shadows. Going harder, we are more than numbers. Standing in the shade. Going louder, we are all one color. Standing in the way.
Thought about this too much. What's there left to say? Throw your stones the river. Like me, it drifts away. I would watch you stare. I would watch you stare. Oh, but there's no one there. We can't figure this out. Put your feet down. We are the lucky ones. Swallow your choice, it's done. Terrified of what's left remains unsaid until you break my mind.
Till you break my mind.
Until you break my thought.
Till you break my thought. I'm throwing wishes in the well in hopes that you will keep them for yourself. And know there was a time when we never let go. Never let go. Ooh, we never let go.
We can't figure this out.
Alright everybody, hello, and welcome back from the time-lapse. As you all could probably see, I've been quite busy, I have to say. I have thrown a lot of scenery at this whole, scenery? Oh. At this whole big scene that I'm doing here. Obviously still not done. Yeah, what do I say? It's really been a lot of time again. As you can probably see, I mean, honestly, I think we've really made a good bit of progress this episode, but, well, still a lot of things to kind of get work done on that I'm not quite clear on yet, you know, so, yeah, still a lot of things to do, but a lot of stuff done as well. So, if you'll remember, at the start of this episode, we had, like, a little setup going out here that I totally scrapped and basically got back to scratch. So I moved this clock tower over to the corner right here because I do kind of like the clock tower overall. I really like the king coming out of there, right? And you know, the little like wooden children, whatever down below. I thought, you know, it really fit in nicely for the overall vibe, so I kept it. I actually changed the lamps to chandeliers though, because you know, it was these witchy style lamps, and I just felt they didn't quite fit in right there. So I did actually end up going with the chandeliers, which just don't really fit in quite perfectly either. But you know, I feel it is a little bit better. That said, I'm just now noticing that this thing is tiny bit too far up, you know, that doesn't work for my OCD, so gonna fix that there. And well, then just going through, I actually found this thing, and I'm not actually quite sure I'm keeping that yet. That's a Fairytale band, and it's just, I think it actually makes music. Let's listen in here. Yeah, it's actually making music, you know. Can't really hear it too well over the roundabout, the merry-go-round, whatever. Yeah, probably more the latter. So, you know, that's probably an issue there already. And other than that, I'm not 100% sure yet that this is fitting in just nicely. Overall, really like this part of the scenery, I'm not quite clear about just yet. I did take this nice fountain and it got the king's statue in there with like the water coming out from the two geese, and I really like it overall. I don't think I'm going to change anything else to the fountain. Kind of looked into getting some like you know, watery elements, right? You know, like some extra fountains and stuff into it, but really didn't look too nicely. And I think overall, like, the combination is very good. You know, kind of debated about the orientation a bit. I just wanted people from over here to be able to spot him too. So I kind of just ended up placing him like this. The only thing that I will probably be placing around here is maybe like a few smaller things, like, you know, a few of these flower pots. You know, maybe like I don't know, maybe some on top stuff, maybe like some gold coins or something if I can find something of that sort. I'm not quite sure. Let's see about that. But yeah, so that's kind of the overall plan for this. Nothing too crazy really. I kind of want to leave this a bit open too. Now this part over here has been kind of troubling, and first things first, you may have all seen that I have actually done a lot of painting this episode, you know, a lot of actual landscape painting, so like for the color. And you know, the thing is, IRL have actually sort of slightly gotten myself into, you know, art and drawing and all the likes lately. Really enjoying that, and hoping to kind of, you know, learn it a bit, get some skills going for that kind of stuff. But yeah, so the way that I really like to approach this whole thing most of the time, and that's kind of drawing the parallel to painting right here, is just working with one of these lower, if I can actually get myself in here, with one of these lower opacity brushes, right, just like a intensity of 21%. Then I just kind of like to layer multiple things upon each other. So not as much for here. If you saw right here, I picked like the grass that kind of felt like more this very like clean cut, nearly like a manicured sort of grass, you know, a little bit more fancy than the standard grass texture that you get. I felt that fitted in a bit nicer here. But over here, you know, I kind of went for this approach of, you know, painting the grass at the very bottom to full opacity, then like, you know, getting the rocks on top, and then like getting the actual rocky surface slightly in there, so that, you know, now we have kind of like this little slight mix of things. So you kind of have a few of the smaller rocks in there still. You may be seeing like a little bit of this very light texture from the grass poking through as well, just to, you know, get the overall impression that I wanted to go for right. And well, I'm pretty happy with it. I hope you guys are as well. It actually it took me a lot of time actually painting all this stuff. This was obviously pretty easy, but you know, just going around here, also getting the texture right, and then I went sort of more in with the rock texture here on the entrance side of things, and I kind of, you know, obviously went for, you know, a nice bit of a fade over here and also over here, so kind of tried to even it out a bit, and I think overall it's pretty nice. Obviously still not done in some places like this one or that one, you know, missing a lot of foliage out here, or not even quite sure I want foliage out here. Maybe I'm just gonna have an open somewhat open view to the entrance area or something. I'm really not quite sure about that part just yet. But yeah, so that's really the whole deal with the landscape, not the landscape, with the terrain painting, and put a lot of effort into it this episode. Hope you all liked it. Then I think I'm going to stick with this side of the theme so far. There's really been a lot that happened. So I went with this like huge, it's like a pavilion or something, right? So basically, you went with this with the initial intent of getting like these thrones on here. I'm just going to show those to you guys real quick so you know what I'm talking about. I wanted these, the palace thrones, but I've got the same flippin' issue as I had before with, you know, the banks and everything. It's really just intended to place these things on the sidewalk, so you can't place them on top of scenery, which I think is so sad, because I think that would be the perfect place to put it, right? I would just want like thrones on top of here, because I mean, my ideal idea would be here, you know, having the king here and like the king's daughter, like the princess next to him, and then the guards guarding them and something. But there is obviously no assets in here for that, so I mean, maybe I'm just missing them from some DLC, but definitely missing them. So that's kind of my idea of what I wanted to put here in the first place. Now it's kind of just an empty space, and I'm really not quite sure what kind of assets I could put in here. If you guys have any idea what I may have not tried out yet, please make sure to let me know, because I'm really kind of not sure about what I'm going to end up putting here now. But other than that, I mean, I think the theme is kind of right, pretty clear. You know, you've got those guards patrolling up front, you've got those two, you know, crossing the axes, and then the idea would be to have like the throne or something, you know, the king, the princess, something like that up here that the guards are actually watching out for. Then we have the fade, obviously, to the other area with like the witch and the dragon and everything that they guard them from, but we're going to get to that in just 1 second. Built up some tents right here, kind of the intent just being, you know, maybe this is like the king's tent and this is like the princess's tent, and this maybe, you know, belongs to the knights guarding them or something like that. Just, you know, tried playing with colors a bit there as well to try and have that make somewhat of a bit of sense. Got the campfire out there too, and pretty sure I'm going to place some other assets around the camp in the long run there as well. Also, replace the fences. I felt the old ones didn't really quite fit this whole fancy theme that I'm now going for out here, so I did remove them and replace them. And that's about it for the Fairytale thing. So, a lot of things there already. Certainly nowhere near done. Like, as I said, I think there's a lot of work that I still have to do here on smaller assets all over the place. I need to determine what I want to do with this thing, you know, maybe even fill this in with some more stuff, you know, more context. I don't know, not quite sure about that yet. And, well, you know, gotta find something for this. If you have an idea, please make sure to let me know down below. Then we had this area, and I think you saw it at the very end of the speed build, and this was kind of a sad one, because my idea for this thing that I actually came up with during the speed build just then was to like have a small tiny, you know, not like a river, you know, just like a small tiny little stream flowing in here, you know, that we will just have this like kind of shift from the very hard rocky soil over to the very fancy manicured grass, and then, you know, people can look over this pond. Maybe there's even something to look at for them inside the pond, and they can, you know, just peek into the fairy tale scene before it all you know, goes over to this contrast between good and bad, or light and dark, or whatever you want to call it, and then it just all fades more into the dark again. So yeah, kind of the idea over there. Didn't work out though, because unfortunately I couldn't dig this far enough down apparently to be able to put some water in there. Like, the game wouldn't let me. I tried it all, it just didn't let me. The paths actually extended out like this pretty much, so I didn't even really have much surface that I could get dug down, so it was all kind of a bit of a big mess, unfortunately, and didn't quite work out. So I'm really not quite sure what I'm going to do here just yet. As with the other thing, you know, if you have any good ideas, let me know down below. I'm always open for inputs, but if not, you know, I'll try and think of something there for the future. Then we are obviously talking about this thing. So I definitely knew that I wanted a flying witch, right? Maybe that for a start. I obviously tried to put her in here before, that didn't quite work out, and then I just this episode went for this alternative, which I thought was kind of nice, you know, getting the thorny vines to grow up some rocks, and the witch is up here, zooming around, you know, looking at things, and also looking at her very own dragon, which I kind of got accustomed to the theme of that. I really like that idea. I mean, obviously I want to make something dragony over here too, but I just had the idea of, you know, placing the sleeping dragon in here that belongs to the witch, which, like, the flying witch takes overwatch off and watches out, or like what he does, and then you have him, you know, kind of chained towards these rocks, so, you know, he can't run away. Chains were actually sort of slightly a bit hard, you know, but I think I hid the fact that they were pretty darn straight somewhat nicely. Kind of got it attached to his foot right there, so I'm hoping that you guys overall like that look. And then out here, obviously more to the witch thematic, we have the same witch tree that we had up front, but now with a witch house on top, and then going down here, you know, of witch casting some spells with a cauldron right there. Obviously that thing aligned to her hand pretty nicely, and this random weird animal that I thought, you know, maybe her pet, maybe something that she wants to throw into the soup, kind of open to the imagination of the viewer, but I really kind of like that that idea, that thematic, and, you know, just wanted to kind of leave it open that way as well. So yeah, other than that, you know, obviously some special effects, you know, some mist and all these good things that I plunked in there too, and certainly not even close to done out here. Like, I definitely want to kind of try and implement some lighting effects out here as well, you know, maybe some green lights around the house, maybe even some red lights around the dragon or something. Definitely something to illuminate the scene a bit better. Maybe something like referring to my whole career mode gameplay. I think I did some kind of sort of witch thematic out there as well, so if you guys want to refer to what my idea is sort of about, that is probably going to be somewhat what I want to go for lighting wise. Well, maybe a few differences. I'm not going to just straight out copy things. And then, you know, just a bit more work to do out here on vegetation and stuff as well. Maybe I can even place something in here. Let's see about that. I think I need to spread a few more of these ironwoods about the place, so that could be an option either. But yeah, really a very long list for the speed build. I do hope that you all overall enjoyed it. That's not quite it for this episode though, as we have finally completed both of the researches. So let's reveal those real quick together. Now I want to have a quick look with you all what this is going to be. So in Descent, looking kind of cool, looking kind of nice. That's certainly very interesting. That's the first one that we researched. Now we've got Pinnacle of Speed. Let's reveal that too. Oh, Zenith. Looking pretty fancy too. Okay, so that's giving us two more options out here with the coasters then. So maybe that is something to eye for the future then. We have the altitude right here. Okay, I mean, so these are the pre-built ones, right? So the Screamer and the altitude, I think, are the two new ones that we have. But we can obviously very much make our own. We've got the Spire of Shock. That's an interesting one. I didn't see that one before. Oh, whoa. Well, that one's definitely new as well. That's pretty cool. Oh, no, I think we had the Screamer before. No, I think the Screamer is actually new. And I do kind of like the look. I feel that thing may overall fit in here very nicely. I mean, not like the actual design. That's going to be my thing most likely, but could be the one that we end up going for. We've also got Altitude Can we preview that, or is that too big? Is that too big to even show? No, there we go. Okay, just took a second loading. Holy moly. Now that's a crazy ride, isn't it? Yeah, I think that one may fit in well as well. So yeah, got a few alternatives there. Very nice, but overall, a lot of work done now on the Fairytale scenario. It's all finally starting to come together, so I do hope that you all are liking my overall idea with this stuff and what I am actually mashing together right here. Let me know what you all think down below. If you have any ideas for the stuff that I was asking about, or, you know, maybe some other cool input, also definitely make me sure to let me know down below. And, well, yeah, would be very much appreciated. But other than that, I'm going to end the episode right here for today, so I do hope that you all very much enjoyed it, that you do like what I have come up with, and if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. And if you're new around this channel and would like to stay around for more of my content, or even some of my other videos, also definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the notification bell right next to it, to stay up to date on all my future upcoming episodes. That said, as always, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I hope you'll have a great weekend, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Ciao.